So here's the AOOCCI C6 Pro, the latest model from AOOCCI, giving you wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay for your bike, along with giving you lots of other things, including a built-in dual-channel dash cam. Let's quickly open up the box and show you the contents inside. So to start off, the first thing in the box is this 6.25-inch 720p HD display. At the bottom, you get screw joints. So within this conceals the SD card and the Type-C port. Along with it, on top you get the sunshade mounts. Here is the GPS module. So this is the bracket mounts, and also you get some LED indicators right here at the side of the display. So very well designed bike display, I must say, one of the most unique designs which I have seen, and this is kind of compact and just right size for any kind of a bike which you might be having. There are 4 connecting wires at the back, and AOOCCI has already named them so that you don't get confused. So you have this power connector and controller connector and 2 dedicated connectors for the front and the rear dash camera. So you have a USB-A connector just in case if you want to power up the device using the USB port of your bike. So you have 2 dedicated camera connection cables, one for the front and one for the rear. Interestingly, AOOCCI has also provided a 64 GB SD card right inside the box, although they have not mentioned this anywhere in the marketing material. It's quite good, and I really appreciate that they have provided an SD card right inside the box. So here's the physical controller. So many people would prefer to have physical buttons to be able to control the display to switch between the views rather than the touch screen. So you get this controller as well along with its connecting cable. And here you get the hard wiring cable, basically the power cable for the display, which is waterproof, and you get dedicated connectors, which I would recommend joining in at some plug point rather than directly connecting it to the battery. So this power box is totally waterproof, and the input voltage is rated at 12 volts to 30 volts, and the power supply voltage output is at DC 5 volts 2 amps. And it's such a thoughtful thing that AOOCCI has provided a sunshade for this display. So since our bikes will be mostly outside during sunlight, it's quite a practical thing to have this sunshade. Of course, it will also protect this display from dust, from dirt, which might be hitting from the top, and on top of it will provide some level of shade, improving the visibility of the display as well. So you also get some zip ties for proper cable management. Additionally, you also get TPMS, that's tire pressure monitoring system for the front and the rear tire, along with the toolkit to install the TPMS in your bike. So here's the front and the rear dash camera. So both these cameras shoot at a full HD resolution at 30 frames per second. So here's the ball joint mount for the display along with its handlebar joint. So all the tools and the accessories for mounting the display have also been given right inside the box. So these two are the controller accessories along with its tool set, and you also have some camera accessories and the bracket accessories along with their respective tool sets right inside these packets. You also get an additional Allen key along with a mini screwdriver placed separately inside the box. And lastly, you have the operation guide or a mini user manual for this device so that you can go through this and understand the whole working of this device. They've even provided a QR code to download the app which connects with this particular display. So to install the C6 Pro, first you need to take the ball joint mount and insert the rubber plugs as being shown on the video. So these plugs provide some damping for the movement of the bike. Following that, take the mount and align them to the screw holes on the main display and tighten the screws which have been given inside the box. Once all the screws are tightened, this is how it's gonna look, and you need to make sure that the rubber plugs have some level of gap between the display so that it provides proper damping. Then take the handlebar mount and fix it accordingly according to your preferred position. So in my case, I fixed it right at the middle of the handbar so that I get a balanced look, I get a symmetrical look of the display right at the center of the bike. Once that's done, take the ball joint adapter and fix it onto the handlebar mount. Make sure you tighten the screw and make sure you give it the proper angle needed for the display. Then take the display screen which you have previously fitted with the ball joint adapter. So align the display properly, make sure you get the proper angle and tighten the screw to your exact needed position. You can move around the display a bit to make sure that you get the proper angle. Then take the physical controller and preferably select a pace which is like convenient to you, which is proper to you, and then take the adapters which go in with this physical connector, and you will need to put in some spacers in case the space is a bit too much So if the adapters fit in directly, that's great, but if the space is less, you need to put in these spacers. Then take the screw that has been provided within the kit and tighten the adapter onto the physical controller. Take the other end of the adapter and fit it to an area which you find convenient, which is like easily accessible to your hand, because whenever you're driving you need to access the physical controller in order to change the view, in order to change the dash cam view into an Android Auto view. So make sure you mount it in a position which you find convenient for changing the different views of the display. Once that's done, take the wiring and like plug in into the rear of the display. Now these wires have been pre-marked, so you won't have any difficulty. Make sure you pass the wire in a way that it's not like drastically visible outside and feels like a part of the bike, feels like it has been given by OEM. So this might need some work, but at the end you will definitely be happy with the end result. Plug the wire into its other end and tighten the screw that has been given right there. Take the sunshade and fit it on top of the display. So do note that this is an optional process. You can or you cannot put the display based on your requirement. So in my case, I prefer to have the sunshade just to avoid any dust, in any dirt, or even the sun glare sometimes. So if you don't want this, you can just skip this part. Then take the dash cam adapter which has been given in the box and like place the dash cam right into the adapter, and take the mount for the dash camera and align it with the screw holes that have been given on the mount. Take the respective screw and tighten it using the Allen key to give it a proper fit. Once that's done, take the sticker, double-sided sticker that has been provided in the box, peel off one side and stick that one side onto the base of the mount. Remove the other end of the sticker and place the dash cam and stick it to a position of your liking. Now do note that before you actually stick, you will need to check for the proper position where you prefer the dash cam to be mounted. Make sure you find the right place and just stick the dash cam to wherever you want. The same thing should be done for the rear camera as well. So both front and the rear cameras installation process is the same. So as you can see right now, I'm currently installing the rear camera. First, put on the sticker, double-sided sticker, peel off one side and just stick the camera to the particular place where you prefer the dash cam to have a view of. So currently I've mounted it right at the center of the rear tail module, and this gives me a balanced and a symmetrical look. Take the wiring of the dash cameras and like pass it through below the seat and then plug in using the screws that have been given within the mounting adapter. Once that's done, conceal the wire below the seat or wherever you find convenient within your respective bike. Then take the TPMS screw and install it on the air hose of your tire. Take the main module of the TPMS which has been given lettering F and R for front and rear. So fit in those modules accordingly on the air hose. Tighten the screw using the mini spanner that has been provided in the box. In the next step, you can remove the bottom panel of the display using the Allen key. Once the bottom panel is open, take the AOOCCI 64GB memory card given inside the box and insert it into the memory card slot right here below the display. Put back the panel and tighten the screws back to their place. So after connecting the wire to the USB port, turn on the bike and the display should start off and give you the main home screen. Now this is the final finished look of the AOOCCI C6 Pro. Gives you all the details including the driving recorder, the Android Auto, the TPMS, the replay button and even the date and time display. Now let's take a deep look into all the features and settings of the C6 Pro. So here's the main display of the AOOCCI C6 Pro. On the left side you get the main navigation bar. In the middle you get the driving recorder, the Android Auto button, the date and time, the TPMS measurement and the album section which shows you all the previous recorded videos. So if you head into the driving recorder, first up you get the front camera and the rear camera side by side. I can just swipe the screen and get an individual view of the front and the rear, or you can get a split screen view. So you have the recording button right here, snapshot button, emergency lock button, audio button, playback and settings of the dash cam. So within the dashcam settings, you have the resolution option within which you have the FHD 1080p option given. Then you have the loop recording option for 1 minute, 3 minutes and 5 minutes. Then you have the G sensor option which I have currently turned off. Then you have the date watermark, and then you have the GPS switch. You can turn it to on or off. Then you have the recording settings for mic. You can set it to off or on. Then you have the GPS speed OSD. Turn it off or on. Then you have the GPS coordinates, GPS altitude and then back camera mirror. So multiple options are present within the dash camera settings. And if you do press the home button, you get back to the main home screen. If you click the interconnect button, this opens up your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in case if you have an Apple iPhone. So as you can see, the Android Auto works seamlessly well. You have the regular search button And anyway, you can basically, since this is connected to your smartphone, the response time is quite good. The display quality is also super nice. It works just as the way it works in your car. Same way, no difference. You have Spotify, you have call log. I mean, basically all the options which you get in Android Auto, you get it right here. And you have a floating button in case if you want to head back to the main home screen. You also can control the volume, the brightness, and the recordings. So home button takes you back to the main home screen. Then you have the replay option. So within the replay option, gives you a list of all the recorded videos. So you can click on any an individual video and you can play back the recorded videos from the front or the rear camera. Here you have the TPMS wherein it shows you the tire pressure and tire temperature as well. So you can set the low alarm and high alarm. Also you can change the units, either bar or PSI. You can change the temperature units to Celsius or Fahrenheit. Then you have the tire warning and pressure bind. Following that, you have the date and time and individual date settings which you can enter manually whenever you want. Then you have the brightness setting. You can set it to total low brightness or high brightness, and of course you can also set it to auto brightness. Then you have the volume setting. You can set it to low or high. Then you have the Bluetooth option wherein you can head it to the Bluetooth settings and connect with your smartphone. Heading into the main settings of this unit, you have the language setting, time setting, speed units, kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Then you have the phone audio settings. Then you have the key volume, Wi-Fi switch, pressure settings, screensaver option, GPS info, auto brightness setting. Then you have the format SD card option, reset into factory settings option, version number, and touch mode. So all these settings are present right here. And just in case, imagine the dash camera is opened up, and in that case I can like easily switch between the Android Auto and Dashcam view using this physical controller button right here. So as you can see, it turned on the Android Auto, and if I want to switch back to the Dashcam view, just press the button and it switches back to the Dashcam view. If I want to switch between the individual dash cameras, so you can see here the first button up here, I can easily switch between the front camera view or the rear camera view or set it to picture in picture mode. So all this happens just by the use of this physical button, and of course you can also use the touchscreen panel to control these same settings. So this was the quick overview of the AOOCCI C6 Pro, showing you all the details, the on-screen settings, and the various different ways you can use this device. So taking a look at the dash cam footage, so this is from the front camera, and as you can see the view is quite good. You're able to read number plates of cars right in front of the bike, and the field of view is also looking decent, maybe about 120 degrees. The color aspects including the brightness, contrast and saturation do look overall balanced. Has a mild vibrating effect due to the vibration of the bike, but since I've mounted it at a rather relatively stable place, there is no high shake within the camera. So you need to find a proper location on the bike which doesn't cover a lot of shake, which doesn't have a lot of shake, so you'll get a more stable footage. Moving on to take a look at the nighttime quality. So within this, the bright areas illuminated due to street lights or headlights do look brighter, and the darker areas look much more darker. The night footage is also very decent, very usable, and more than enough, or should I say more than sufficient for any day-to-day purposes or evidence-based usage for your bike's camera view. The clarity from the video is decent. I mean, I'm not able to make out any noise or any blurriness even in the night footage, so that's a good thing. And you can also note that the number plates are also relatively well visible, similar to what you would see during a daytime footage. Moving on to take a look at the rear camera. So basically both the cameras are exactly the same, provide you the same resolution and bit rate and file size, so there's no much difference in that. So you get a really good view of the rear based on the kind of location where you have mounted the camera. So as you saw previously, I just mounted it on the rear tail end section of the bike, and this too is giving off a very wide field of view. It's covering a good range behind the bike, and of course all the parameters of the video are looking equivalent to what we just saw in the front camera, including the brightness, contrast, saturation and sharpness. Very much balanced, very much usable. Mild level of shakiness again due to the vibration of the bike, but not as much as to disturb the entire video. Still a very usable footage. It does tend to catch some level of glare from the headlights that are like facing directly towards the camera, but that's okay and that's totally normal. So both the front and the rear cameras giving you a balanced footage, a natural looking footage, and giving you a full HD resolution is definitely something to consider, and which basically works in the favor of the AOOCCI C6 Pro.